Good afternoon and welcome to SELCO's Wednesday webinar. I'm Pam O'Hara, Director of Learning Engagement. Before we get started, there are a few housekeeping items to cover. You should be seeing a slide with our presentation title on it. On the right of your screen should be a control panel that will allow you to interact with us. Please click on the raise your hand button now so I can tell if you're listening or not, or if you can hear us. Looks like some hands are raised. Great, thank you. We have some time left at the end of the webinar for questions, so please enter any questions you have using the question function in the control panel, and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. Tomorrow you'll get a follow-up email with a link to the video of the webinar and a link to a short survey. Please take a few minutes to fill out the survey to let us know how we did. Feedback from you is the best way we have to improve our webinars and get ideas for new topics. And with that, we'll get started on today's topic, the importance of patrons' privacy on public PCs. Safeguarding privacy on shared computers can be a challenge. Donovan Lambright, Director of Consulting Services, will discuss how SELCO works with libraries to make sure that patrons do not accidentally leave personal data behind on public access computers after use. Here to discuss the private data and your public PCs is Donovan Lambright. Take it away, Donovan.
Thanks, Pam. One of the core values of libraries is privacy and the confidentiality of patron data. Libraries and privacy are tied together so tightly that you could almost say that they are like chocolate and peanut butter. Or, if you have different tastes, bourbon and ice. Patron data comes in many different forms, each of which libraries strive to safeguard. Some data represents information that is given to the library to facilitate services. That includes addresses, email addresses, and credit card numbers, all examples of this kind of data. Other data is generated by the patron's use of the library. These include titles checked out, websites browsed on public PCs or through library Wi-Fi, research articles, and reference questions. Another kind of data generated by patrons' use of the library is what I like to call public PC debris. These are pieces of information, often documents, left behind on public PCs when a patron session ends. Often, debris is left over when a document is downloaded to be read, edited, or printed. Or a picture might be saved from an email to be transferred to a thumb drive. Regardless of how the files got onto the PC, the patron may not be aware that a copy has been saved to the PC's hard drive. Working on public PCs at SELCO libraries, we have found a wide array of patron information left behind on hard drives. These are real examples. I am not making them up. We have found W-2s, personal photos. Now, when I say that, I don't mean personal photos, thank God, but still, they were not photos that were intended to be shared. And one time, we found a folder called eBay login information. Fortunately, there are things you can do to avoid this privacy apocalypse on your public PCs. First of all, you can disable features in the web browser that save website passwords, cached websites, and browser history. You can write protect your PC's systems folders, which load the operating system. Hard drive protection software such as Deep Freeze and Clean Slate automatically delete all changes to the PC hard drive upon reboot. Of course, for that to work, you must first work out a process to ensure that the PCs are rebooted after every single patron session. Using software like Deep Freeze does make Windows updates a little more complicated. In order for Windows to download and install an update, Deep Freeze, or Clean Slate, must be disabled. Otherwise, it would prevent the update from being saved, just like it does with any other change. It's easy to forget to do this if you aren't careful. It's also easy to forget to reinstate the software after the upgrade has been installed. So make sure that you include that on any checklists that you have created to handle Windows updates. There are some non-techie things you can do also. Educate patrons about privacy and set expectations for shared public PCs. Make sure patrons understand how important it is not to save data to the PC, and that they shouldn't expect to find it again if they do so and come back later. Every library should have a clear policy that prohibits patrons from disabling hard drive protections and outlines consequences for violating the policy. In a more positive vein, libraries can promote the use of portable and cloud storage for patron data. Most libraries allow patrons to use their own USB thumb drives in public PCs. Some even make cheap drives available for a nominal fee to patrons who don't have one. Cloud storage sites like Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, and Box.com provide free storage, accessible via a website, with options to get more storage for a subscription fee. These are all great ways for patrons to keep their data secure and accessible from any PC. That way you don't have to argue anymore with that one guy who always has to have PC number 3 because that's where he keeps his eBay login information. Libraries with SELCO PC support already get most of the items on this list. When they set up a new public PC, SELCO technicians configure the web browser not to save passwords, the cache, and any history. They lock down the system's folders so they cannot be altered, and they install deep freeze to protect the hard drive from saving any changes made by patrons. And they make it easy for librarians to reboot the PC after each patron session, either with Pharos, if the library uses it to manage their internet sessions, or through a batch file created for the purpose. With Pharos, the reboot is automatic. SELCO will also guide libraries through the Windows update process to make sure hard drive protection doesn't get in the way when you don't want it to, but gets reactivated when you do. Again, that is only available with PC support. Now, PC support does not work with your patrons to set expectations or promote storage options. But if that's something you need help with, give us a call at the SELCO help desk, and one of our consultants can help draft a PC public use policy or help you brainstorm ideas to promote responsible PC use. And I have a blank slide there that was supposed to be taken out, so we're just going to pretend that didn't happen, okay? And that is what I have. Are there any questions? Well, please don't ask me about the blank slide. That was just a screw up.
Thanks, Donovan. What about that blank slide? Just kidding.
That was a placeholder that ended up not actually representing anything and should have been removed.
No, you're good. It looks like we have no questions for you, but I assume that you'd be happy to follow up with any information. And like you said, please contact the help desk and we can help you out with whatever PC issues you have.
Absolutely. Call us through the help desk, or you can reach out to me personally if you have any questions on this webinar.
Awesome. Thanks, Donovan.
Thank you.
So tomorrow you'll get a follow-up email with a link to the video of the webinar and a link to a short survey. Please take a few minutes to fill out the survey and let us know how we did, or if you have any questions or an idea or a suggestion for another webinar topic. For those watching the recording, you can reach out directly to Donovan with any questions you have. And with that, we'll close for the day. Thanks everyone for attending.
Bye.